Good morning and welcome to today's verse. To God be the glory. What a great day it is today. Today's verse, it comes to us from Philippians. Philippians chapter 2, verse 14, 15, and it says this: Do all things without complaining and disputing, that you may become blameless and harmless children of God without fault in the midst of a crooked and perverse generation, among whom you shine as lights in the world. I want to speak to you this morning about shining without complaining. Imagine a group of hikers climbing a mountain together. The path is steep and rocky, and the journey requires teamwork. Some of the hikers, they start to complain about the heat, the weight of the packs on their back, and how far they have left to go. Well, their complaining begins to spread like wildfire, draining everyone's energy and joy. But then one of the hikers began to encourage others, pointing out the beauty of the scenery, the view, offering water, and quietly helping those who stumble. Soon the atmosphere changes and the climb feels lighter, and others begin to smile again. The difference is that one chose to shine instead of grumble. The Apostle Paul wrote to the Philippians while he was in prison, encouraging believers in Philippi to live in unity and humility, following the example of Christ. In chapter 2, Paul highlights the humility of Jesus, how he made himself of no reputation and obeyed God even unto death. And from that foundation, Paul calls believers to work out their own salvation with fear and trembling, verse 12, meaning that they are to live out the inner transformation that God has produced in them. In other words, live out what God has worked in. In verses 14 to 15, it continues that thought, that believers are to do everything without grumbling or arguing. Complaining, it reveals discontentment and a lack of trust in God's providence. Arguing disrupts unity within the church. So in contrast, we as believers are to live with gratitude and harmony. And if we do that, then we stand out as blameless and harmless children of God, shining like lights in a dark and morally corrupt, twisted world. In today's world, complaining seems normal. Whether it is at work, at home, even in the church. But Paul calls Christians to a higher standard, that we are to serve, to work, and to face trials with joy instead of grumbling. And when we do that, we reflect the character of Christ. You know, in a culture that is just filled with negativity and division, a believer who lives with peace and gratitude shines brightly, whether it is at work, on the job, whether it is in your family or doing ministry. People will notice your attitude, and a spirit of thankfulness, it will turn ordinary moments into testimony of God's grace. To God be the glory for the great things he has done. I pray that you would meditate upon our text today. It would be a word of encouragement to you as you go throughout your day. I pray that you would have a great day. Have a safe day. And then tune in again tomorrow. Yes, as we consider today's verse. Amen.